Do you have a dream to build a successful design business, but you just don't know where to start? In today's episode, we are sharing the 5 essential foundations every design business needs. You're listening to Design and Prosper, episode 142. Hey, I'm Chris. And I'm Donna. Welcome into this beautiful space where we have open and honest conversations about running a graphic design business.
We'd love to help you throw imposter syndrome to the curb and position yourself as a high-end graphic designer.
Yes, and each week we'll share empowering advice, practical tips, and strategies to help you thrive in business. We are so happy you're here.
Welcome, everybody.
Hello, welcome.
So today we're talking about the 5 essential foundations every design business needs.
Mm-hmm.
Now, these are things, deep thought things that you need to consider.
Yes.
And we're guessing that if you're listening to this podcast, so if you're listening to Design and Prosper, you have a dream to build a successful design business, or you're on the pathway to building that dream. So we wanted to share some of the foundations so that you have these things in place as soon as possible, so that you can get clear on these things as soon as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. There are so many of you out there, I'm sure, who are really lost. Where do I start? What do I do? How do I start a successful design business? Or how do I start a design business full stop? We hope the success will come. This podcast, this is the start. This is where you start.
Yeah, start here.
Yes,
start right here.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, let's dive into the 5 essential foundations.
Yeah, so the first one is to understand your why. Why are you doing this in the first place?
Yeah, and like Chris said, this is deep work, okay? So we get you to dig deep into your motivation. Having that clear why, it's your compass. It will basically be the catalyst and it will navigate you toward your success because you will be honoring your why. It fuels your passion during those really, really tough times and it keeps you focused.
Yeah. Have you heard about the North Star? So it'll become your North Star. Your why essentially becomes that thing, that guiding principle, that guiding why in those really rocky times where you're feeling like, why am I doing this?
Yeah. What was the point again?
You go back to your why.
Yeah, absolutely. We did an episode on this a little while ago, episode 113, Why Did You Start Your Design Business? So check that out. We'll pop a link in the show notes for that as well. But it is a great listen and it will help you get started on thinking about this.
So the kinds of questions that you need to ask when you're considering your why is, what drives you to be a designer? So what was that driving motivation way back when you started, or it might be recently that you went, that's it. I know what I want to do.
I know what I want to do. What was yours, Chris?
Oh, mine was that I loved art and I really wanted a creative career.
Yeah.
And then I found out there was this thing called graphic design. There was an opportunity to study it at my local university and I applied for it really not knowing what it was.
We are so similar. Same story, really. Yeah.
And then I realized that it was all the beautiful visual things that I love so much, like color and type. And it was like this explosion of all those things. And what I also really loved about it was I loved answering briefs. I loved answering, solving problems essentially for clients. So I loved having that direction because when I was trying to be an artist, I floundered a little bit because I didn't have a really strong point of view when I was younger, really, definitely. Yeah. So when I was asked to actually fulfill a brief, it was like, I can do this. I have a direction. I know what I'm doing. And I just love the idea of elevating people and making their businesses absolutely beautiful. So mine was a combination of not knowing what design was. So it's very different to the way things are today. Everybody knows what design is.
Yeah.
Like that was part of our problem actually with business is like trying to convince everybody, not convince everybody, but try to educate everybody. What is a graphic designer?
What is a graphic designer? That is so funny. So I'm a few years ahead of you, right? As we all know. And mine was exactly the same. I did art. Literally my whole childhood was either on a BMX bike or colouring in and making and crafting.
Yeah.
And I was this creative kid and tomboy because I had brothers, and that was the thing that you did in your childhood back in the 70s. But crafting, colouring, creating was never far away. So it was really natural segue into doing fine art and things like that. So that's the path I was taking. I had a single mum growing up. Amazing. She's one of my best friends. Love her. So, spectacular human who was very worried about how I was going to make money. When we were going through, university degrees, she was very excited that I was going to be going to university, and I was looking at the art pathways, and then there was this thing, graphic design, and graphic design felt like it was a bit more of a business approach to art.
Yeah.
And mum was like, "Oh, that's exciting. You can get paid doing something that you love, the things that you love to do on the daily." So I went into graphic design not really knowing what it was about, but very, very similar to Chris. Why am I not surprised, Chris? All of the things that I love, color, typography, collage, really bold graphics, photography collided in graphic design, and I was in joy. So that's how it sort of came about for me as well. And it was really simple. As soon as I started studying, it was really clear that this was a pathway.
Yeah.
And mum was happy because it felt like I'd actually make some money in life. So, yeah, I know a lot of people out there probably have parents who are really concerned about designers going out into business on their own, because it is really tricky to make money from a creative career. It is. I know that's going to be controversial. People will probably go, I don't know, there will be a lot of opinions about that. But Chris and I have a lot of friends in the creative industries, and all of our creative industry friends have had to be very, very intentional about their approach to their career or their business in the creative world. There's a lot more explaining to do. There's a lot more, this is the value. Like Chris said, one of her biggest challenges in business was to even get across the line, what is a graphic designer? Well, we're talking back 20 years ago now, and it is one of those things. There's a bit of a stigma attached to that. So these foundations actually are so important to overcome that, because we do believe that it's a lot better now. There's no better time that Chris and I don't believe to be a designer than now. There's so many avenues available to us, but that doesn't negate the fact that you still have to be super intentional. So I've gone a little bit rogue there.
No, that's all good.
Yeah.
Well, one thing that you said about the business approach to graphic design, and it was a bit more of a business pathway than a fine art pathway in your mind.
Yeah.
Well, that was really exciting to me too. And as part of my degree, we did do a business plan, and I got so excited. And I think that crystallized my why.
Yeah.
I think that the prospect of being able to have the freedom and flexibility to have a business was very exciting to me, because before then I was thinking I'm going to have to go to Sydney and I'm going to have to work in an advertising agency, which I wasn't sure if I'd like the high pressure of it. Of course, I would have been able to manage the high pressure of that, but in my mind I was very excited about being an entrepreneur, and I think that that was a big part of my why. And I think many of you would be feeling that as well. I wanted to be able to have a lot of control in my life.
I love that. I love that. So what drives you, beautiful designer? Really go back and dig deep and really understand your why. It's really, really important.
So another question is, what problems do you want to solve through design?
I love this question. This question will really help you to define the type of work that you want to do. So when you look at work, others' work, when you look at Pinterest and you see design work and you're green with envy, you're like, oh, I wish I had have done that. What type of work is that? And we've talked about this before. So when you look at that work and it really lights you up, who is the client for that work? Don't be asking who designed that, asking who asked for that design. What type of client wants that work? So that's really important. So what problems do you want to solve as a designer?
And that reverse engineering is really great, because if you look at it from a client perspective, so you see this beautiful piece of design and then you look at the client, what were they asking for and what problem did they face?
Yeah.
So that'll give you a clue.
Yeah.
Because we have lots of different types of designers. We have more kind of artistic, illustrative kind of designers, and then we have more like advertising focused designers, and then we might have more analytical, data driven designers where you love dissecting data and then putting it together in a way that makes sense so that it's more easy to digest. So there's lots of different pathways you can go with design.
Yeah.
So what kind of problems do you want to help people solve? Do you just want to solve the problem of like making people look elevated and look more impressive and to reach new markets? Like what kind of problems do you want to solve?
Yeah. Do you want to do book covers? Do you want to do album covers? What type of problems do you want to solve? And we love that question. We want it to be that question. What problems do you want to solve versus what type of design work do you want to do?
Yeah.
Because it's a little bit deeper and it's a little bit more complex, and answering that will really help you to establish the type of designer you want to be.
Yeah. So when you're solving problems, you're improving the lives of business owners and individuals. How is your design services going to do that? How will your design services improve people's lives? So that's a clue into imagining your ideal client as well.
Yeah.
So it's all
Brilliant.
part of your why.
All right. Our second foundation, we need to establish your revenue goal. Yep. We're going to talk about money, people. How much money do you want to earn? So we talked about your why, that burning passion that fuels your desire to build a design business. But that passion also needs to fuel in the real world money.
Yeah.
Money, money, money. You need to turn your why into a financial reality. It's that simple. We live in a fiscal world.
Yeah. And some of you, your why might have been money already. And that's perfectly fine if there was a money factor in your why. Because the reality is we need money. We live in a material world. You know, Madonna said it.
Yeah, she said it so well.
She did. And it's okay to talk about it. And it's okay to acknowledge the importance of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Because your revenue goals directly support your why. So how much is enough? This is a great question. How much would be amazing? So how much is enough? How much is going to support that beautiful lifestyle that you're after? Day to day, week to week, where you're not feeling wobbly, you're not feeling nervous or scared or worried that you're not going to meet your next rent or next mortgage payment. How much is enough versus how much would be amazing? So you get to travel, you get to eat where you want to eat, wear what you want to wear, have the health approach to health that you want, you know, all of those things.
Yeah.
What would be your amazing number?
Yeah. And we're not going to be prescriptive about this. This is unique to you. This is individual to you. Because one person's financial freedom is going to look very different to another person's. And what would it look like for you to achieve financial freedom?
I love that. Yeah. We want that financial freedom. What does that look like for you?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then we want to take a look at what your expenses are likely to be. So before setting a final number, we need to take a deep dive into your likely business expenses. So this includes things like your software subscriptions, any marketing, advertising costs, promotional costs, equipment that you need, and even a dream office space.
Yeah.
And it might even be a home office space, but what equipment do you need? What kind of desk do you need? What kind of chair do you need? Or it could be an external dream office space. That could be part of your dream.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we look at how many hours per week do you want to work? What does your work week look like? How much time do you want to take off each year? These are really important questions because you need time for life as well as for business. And we are all about that beautiful, balanced lifestyle business.
Yes.
Where we get to do the hours we want to do, we achieve the revenue goals that we need to achieve to have our financial freedom.
Yeah, we want you to be able to live well.
Yeah.
Because I think that sometimes we'll just quickly tally up some numbers in our head and we'll go, well, that sounds reasonable. Like if I charge X amount and then I'm doing this, you know, if I charge $50 an hour and I'm getting this many hours of work, business doesn't actually work like that. A design business doesn't work like that.
No.
And if you've downloaded our free pricing guide and have read through that, you'll see that we recommend 20 client service hours or creative hours, billable hours per week. That's the maximum. Although that can even be pushing it a little bit as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
because it's exhausting.
It
drains
is.
you. It can be draining.
Yeah, we're on
Yeah.
fire when we are in our creative zone.
Yeah.
And
we give a lot.
We give a lot.
Yeah.
And it really does take away a lot as well.
Yeah. So we need to be realistic about
Really
the number.
realistic. Yeah, absolutely. It's all very well and good to have a why, to have a positive impact and help people and have beautiful, impactful brands, or the why is about the business or the work that we're doing. But what about your quality of life for you and your family? That's what we're saying here. We're wanting you to really think about how your revenue goal can support your family and your life. So that's important. It's so important to Chris and I. It's what we're all about.
Yeah, you absolutely deserve a fulfilling life, and your business model should be set up so that it contributes directly to the quality of your life and not take away from the quality of your life.
Yeah.
And we love the idea of that your business should serve your life, not the other way around.
Yeah.
Your life shouldn't just be serving your business.
Yeah. And a lot of entrepreneurs fall into that trap where it's like, I don't want to go and get a job 9 to 5 and work for someone else. But then they work for themselves and they're working around the clock.
Yeah.
Because their business model hasn't been set, or their business model does not exist. So then they don't actually have a business model that A, supports their revenue goal, and B, supports their life. So it's so important to get that balance right.
So is your business model feasible? Are the numbers feasible? Once you have a clearer picture of your expenses and your desired number of hours you want to work and the work-life balance and your income goals, you've got to run the numbers. And we have a beautiful worksheet that we share with our Academy members. And also we do share it sometimes, not always, in special trainings that we do. So make sure you're on our mailing list, because we do share this as part of Pathway to Profit. It's actually coming really soon. It's actually happening next week. If you're listening to this around the 15th of August, you still might have a chance to get access to this training. So definitely head to our website, head to designandprosper.co/PTP. That's PTP. So just those 3 letters.
Acronym for Pathway to Profit.
Yes, Pathway to Profit. We'll have the link in the show notes as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, just make sure that your business model is going to work, that your pricing structure actually makes it feasible for you to hit those targets. And all those things need to be considered. The number of hours that you're willing to commit. Even going back to your why and the type of clients and the type of projects, all of that needs to be considered in your business model.
Yeah.
And we cover all that in Pathway to Profit.
Yeah, beautiful. All right, so we have our why and we have how much money we need. We have enough in our amazing number. So we've got our revenue goal, and now we need to have our third pillar in place, our third foundation. We need to understand who you are. Okay, so understanding your strengths. Your strengths, beautiful designer, are your superpowers. They are the gift that you are giving to your clients.
Yeah, I think it was James Clear who, he has a great newsletter. If you aren't subscribed to his little 1, 2, 3, is it 3, 2, 1 or 1, 2, 3 newsletter, where he shares a few different little nuggets of gold every Friday. One time recently he shared that, so we're always striving, right, to be excelling at something. Like that's just human nature. We want to be good at something. But he was talking about perhaps the magic combination is when you're pretty good at multiple things. It's the combo that's really key. And this is what we see with designers all the time. We see this unique combination of skills and passions and strengths that nobody else has. And it's really cool. So it's like you need to tally up your unique strengths, because you might be thinking, oh, well, I'm really passionate about topography, and then I really like photography, and then I'm actually a pretty good writer. Those 3 things right there, that's your special sauce.
Yeah.
That's your superpower. And you need to tap into those.
And imagine leveraging those incredible skills and achieving exceptional results for your clients. You will be in demand because you're leveraging what is coming naturally to you.
Yeah. So with the James Clear example, rather than just being like the typography expert, which also is a pathway, but none of a lot of us are that single focused. There are people out there in the world that are, but it's like we need to tap into what's really unique about us. And I love that, because I think often we think, oh, I'm not enough because I'm not like super focused on one thing.
Yeah.
But really tap into those, leverage those skills that you have, and you're going to deliver something that's really unique and exceptional to your clients.
I love that. Absolutely. And also tailoring your business to your strengths paves the way for ease. And we are passionate about seeking ease. And when things come easily to us and organically to us because they are our skill set and our organic skill set, then that just makes life a little bit easier as well. And we're all about that. So
what would this look like if it was easy?
Yes.
We ask that question a lot, and you can ask that of yourself with your business as well, with your graphic design business. What would this look like if it was easy? And one of our beautiful Academy members discovered that what that would look like for her is if she dropped branding.
Yeah.
Branding was not easy. She was actually good at it, but it didn't have the ease factor. But doing incredible WordPress websites was. Shout out to you, Tasia, beautiful Tasia, if you're listening. So it's really interesting when we look at it like that. It can change everything if you're focused on ease.
Yeah, I love that. I love that because in my career, I was doing tasks or had roles that I did because I could, and I did because I did them well and I was good at them.
Yeah.
But I didn't really want to show up for them because it wasn't happening with ease for me. I really had to push through to get the results that I expected of myself and that my clients rightly should expect of me as well, or our business associates should expect from our business. So it was push. And then when you realize that you are pushing through just because you should, it could actually open up a little gateway for scaling your business or getting people in that really fit the things that you can't do if you want to continue to offer them. So you don't have to let go of things completely. You can, if you like, and focus on areas that you're really great at. But you can also go, I'm good at branding. I want to do it. I want to deliver, but I don't want to do the grunt work of branding. So I'll get someone in. I'll still offer that in my business, but I know where my strengths are. So again, that's looking at the business model and really understanding how it all fits, how it all works. How can this possibly work?
Yeah. And you know what push leads to?
Burnout. Yeah.
And the older that you get, well, the more life experience you have, I've noticed that burnout can come quicker than before.
Yeah.
Because when you're younger, you can tolerate it a bit more.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's just that our toleration factor just dips down. We're like, no,
I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
For me, in my business, I was taking on administrative roles that I could do and was good at and was handling it, and it was all great. But there was no passion, no drive there. And so acknowledging that I didn't want to do that in the first instance and getting the right people in, the right team members in who had an administrative brain, who were excited by it, can completely change the trajectory of your business because you've got multiple people working to their passions in your business. So it's so important to get that mix right, to get it right. Yeah.
Yeah, just because you are good at something doesn't mean you should be doing it.
Yeah.
Sure.
I actually say that to my teenagers right now. I say it to them because you can get stuck in a role for years, doing something because you think you should, because you're good at it and because people expect it of you. But if you are not happy, if you are not lit up, we promise you it can get old very, very quickly.
Yeah.
And burnout is very real.
Yeah.
So, just check in with yourself and always seek that ease.
Yeah. So another thing to understand who you are is to understand your personality type. For example, are you really analytical? I mentioned this before. Are you analytical or are you more creative? Not saying that analytical people aren't creative, but are you just more aligned to like conceptual exploration and your brain really devours that and just loves that process? Or do you like analyzing data? Some of us are data driven, and this can really affect your design style and the way that you interact with clients as well. So how it can manifest is analytical thinkers, they might thrive on clean lines and functionality. So that will lend itself to a certain kind of client. Or just do you have this wild creative spirit that, you're gravitating towards bold, unconventional approaches? So identifying that will help you attract clients who resonate with the type of work that you want to do and your aesthetic.
Yeah, beautiful. Absolutely. And then there's client connection, the chemistry that you have with your clients. If you understand your personality, you'll be able to know who you can relate to, which industries you're going to relate to. Because let's face it, it's a generalization, but certain personalities are attracted to certain industries. Might help you unearth a niche, knowing the type of people who you'd like to deal with.
Yeah, like if you're very much the analytical mind, you might be wanting to work in the medical industry. If you're the opposite to analytical and you're more conceptual, it might be theatre posters and things like that.
Yeah.
What is it? What is it going to be for you?
And that connection with other people, if you're an extrovert, really outgoing, you might excel at building relationships with clients who appreciate a collaborative approach.
Yeah.
That's a really nice nod to who you are as a person.
Yeah.
But the opposite may be true as well.
Yeah. If you're an introvert,
Yeah.
you might like longer projects that don't require, you might like to set up your business so that there's fairly minimal client contribution.
Yeah. And you might have a really tight client process where you might have a client portal where everything is managed at arm's distance.
Yeah.
Just respectfully, I'll keep you at bay.
Yeah. And shout out to the introverts out there. I'm one of them. Not saying not to have meetings. See last episode, all about that. We talked all about meetings in our last one. But yeah, you can definitely set things up so that you can even ask that question at the beginning of the briefing. Would you like somebody who takes the lead, or would you like a more collaborative approach? And if you get the people who are like, yeah, I'm all for collaboration, you might be like, maybe
I don't have any spaces available until 2027. No, you can just be honest about that. You can just say, this is the way that I work. This is my process.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to get more clarity on the type of personality that you have, you could take a personality test. So Myers-Briggs is one of them. Enneagram is another. Clifton Strengths, which used to be called Strengths Finder, is another one. So, check them out and see who you are. But innately, you know who you are, right? You know your personality.
It's nice to have the validation, though, sometimes. And
I think all love a bit of a quiz.
Yeah, I think that's even why people like to have an astrology birth chart, a natal chart done, because it's like it's confirmation of who we are. And it's like, oh, yes, I knew that. Yes, there we go. So a lot of it will just be very reassuring, or maybe not second guess your direction that you're going with and give you that extra boost to go, yes, I really do need to go in this direction because that's who I am innately. And otherwise, I'm going to be fighting myself. It's not going to be the easy path. I need to take the easy path.
I love those words, Chris. I love how you just said, I'm not going to be fighting myself. That's so great because often we do that.
Yeah.
We do that. I did that for a couple of years.
Yeah, to be the good girl or to be like the accomplished person or, I've got my shit together, whatever it is.
Yeah. I love that. Don't fight yourself. Go for ease. Yeah.
Yeah.
Love yourself up.
So the number 4 foundation is who can you serve? So is there actually a market for this? So we find this often because a lot of designers are creative, free spirit types. Sometimes we do target an audience that might not be all that profitable, which is a little bit of a shame.
Yes.
But it is a reality. We do live in a material world after all, and we do need to have an audience and we do need to have clients that have a budget for what we are going to offer. So that's the next thing that you need to identify.
Like for all of the branding designers out there, often a lot of new businesses who are after a brand and starting from the ground up means that cash flow might be a little bit tight. So I know this is off on another tangent, but I just wanted to make the point there. Just be mindful of the type of people that you're targeting, especially when you are starting up a business. If you are working with startup businesses, the budgets are not going to be as lucrative, let's say, as a mid-sized business who already has some traction, who already has some marketing budget and a budget in place to spend for and with a graphic designer. So just be mindful of that. And when you're thinking of your business model and your revenue goals, that we can play to our strengths in terms of the type of work that we want to do for sure, but make sure that the people, like we're saying here, that you want to work with have some money. Make sure they have a bit of budget.
Yeah. We did an episode recently about finding evidence. So evidence that design works. And it showed evidence that brands who invest in brand equity are going to grow faster, are going to outperform other businesses and that sort of thing. But you will find there are businesses out there who are doing very nicely, thank you very much, with very ordinary brands, and it's just not a priority for them. So if you're targeting an audience that they don't really care about it, or they don't have, what we need to see is that they've got an easily identifiable problem. What is their problem? Are they not growing and they want to grow? Are they wanting to have a higher market share and they don't have a higher market share? Are they not known to their desired people and they need to get their name out there? Do they have an urgent problem that needs to be solved? So that's
the key question.
Yeah.
That's when I was at the tip of my tongue there. I was like, better yet, are all of these problems that you're mentioning urgent? Because that's where we come in. That's where we can really help when things are urgent. So, yeah.
Yeah. And then another question you can ask about who you can serve is, are they easily accessible? Can you find them easily? Are they hanging out in groups anywhere, online, in person? Where are these people?
Yeah, where are they? That's really, really important. Often we're looking for our audiences in the wrong places. So to really understand where they hang out, really accessing a client avatar to understand the person, not the business, then you'll really understand where they're hanging out.
Yeah.
And then step further, can you list at least 20, say, businesses who fit the criteria you've just outlined?
Yeah. And I would say, can you easily list 20 businesses who fit that criteria?
Yeah, absolutely.
So are they easily accessible? Do they have an easily identifiable problem, and better still, an urgent problem that you can solve?
Yeah, absolutely. And is this audience likely to grow? Is it a growth industry?
Yeah.
It's really so important to identify the ideal client that you want to serve, understand as much as you possibly can about them, like really tap into the client avatar, like we just said, to really know exactly who it is you're serving, where they are, all those things that we've just talked about.
Yeah, do your research. Really understand.
Yeah.
Understand the niche. Understand the needs of the clients. Like you can do surveys. You can pop a survey into a Facebook group and, offer a little gift or a prize as an incentive to one winner. And you can get so much intel and language from that. So make sure. So foundation number 4 is really important. And I think it's where some designers go wrong, because we do romanticize what our design business is going to be like, and we want the freedom and flexibility, but do you actually have a market you can serve?
Yeah.
A profitable market. We want a profitable market, right?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
A market that is growing.
Yeah.
We want there to be more and more and more and more business down the track.
Yeah.
Which leads us into our 5th and final foundation. It is now time to design your ideal business model. So with all of that intel, it's now time for you to actually create a business model.
Yeah. It needs to match all the points we've listed, right? So your why, your revenue goals, your personality, and who you are serving.
Yeah.
And there's really no one-size-fits-all approach. And this can be hard to figure out, like getting a business model that makes sense to you and is going to be profitable and ticks all those boxes, especially the lifestyle goal boxes, I think is important as well. And I think that's another mistake that a lot of designers make. So we have a beautiful calculator that we will be sharing in our upcoming live training. So it's a 3-day live training, Pathway to Profit. So you can get your hands on it. And previously we only shared this in the academy, and it is an amazing clarifying calculator where you will see exactly how your business model can work. And no 2 business model calculators are going to look the same, or no 2 business models will look the same. Yeah. Yours is going to be unique to you, because it cannot be a one-size-fits-all approach.
Absolutely cannot be. And the thing is, with our calculator, we share 5 different examples of many. But we give you 5 so you can say, okay, I can be unique. I can build a business unique to my strengths, unique to my lifestyle goals, unique to my revenue goals, and it will be profitable. It should be easy, capital E, and very doable for you to achieve that. because you are building it based on all of the intel that you've gathered from what we're talking about. You know, what we've been talking about this whole podcast, it all comes together. A question that I love to ask teenagers now, I have 2 teenagers, instead of what do you want to do for a career when you finish school, what lifestyle do you want to lead when you finish school? What's your lifestyle look like? What does that feel like? What do you want to be doing with your life? And that's why Chris and I are passionate lifestyle business advocates, because it has to work. Whether you go and work for someone else or become an entrepreneur, it's same. What is the lifestyle you want to lead? Do you want to wake up every day doing this thing, that thing, then the next thing, and go to bed and do it all again? What do you want to be doing on the daily, on the weekly, on the annually? It's so important to get this right. And having a really clear business model helps you get there with ease.
Yeah. And we know there's a lot to consider and there's a lot to think about with these questions that we've asked, but we step it all out for you in the Pathway to Profit training. And then we go, of course, so much deeper in the academy. We lean right into your ideal audience. We lean right into how to make your business profitable. How is that going to happen? And we're so excited to help you to achieve your dream business goals. And that's what we do. That's why we started this business, to make that happen for as many designers worldwide as we possibly can. So come and join us with the Pathway to Profit. And then we'd love to see you in the academy, which is going to be kicking off soon in August. Yeah. It won't be long now. A couple of weeks away, we'll have our module 1 dropping, and we'll have our very first Q&A session for this round. So we have Q&A coaching sessions, which are just so uplifting and so supportive. And we have an awesome community, the best designers on the planet as part of our beautiful academy community.
Yeah. Come and join us and join the other beautiful designers as well. There's so much to consider. So here's where to start, and we'll also take you through step by step, holding you by the hand, holding you accountable to help you make it all happen, and we'll show you where to finish as well.
Yeah.
By the time you work with us in the academy, whether you do the Pathway to Profit and then into the academy, you're going to get skills. You're going to get absolutely the blue chip roadmap for a design business that is going to be predictable and profitable.
Yeah.
So we'll show you where to finish as well.
All right. Well, on that note, be brave.
Yes.
We know you can.
We know you can. Be brave. Be real. Keep it real.
Yeah.
Beautiful designers. Don't morph into something that people are expecting you to be. Be absolutely, what's the word I'm looking for? Be unforgivable in your approach to being you in business.
Unapologetic.
Unapologetic, Chris. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's the one. I really want you to be unapologetically you in business, because when you do that and when you have strategy and intention, focus and guidance behind you to really allow you to be you in business with really clear goals, then you will be attracting the type of work and the type of people that you want to work with, and you will be successful.
Yeah.
And it will be fun. That's the key, right? You'll have that lifestyle that you're after.
Yeah. And it comes back to ease again, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Keep it
what
easy.
would this look like if it was easy?
Yeah.
And I reckon what it would look like is joining the academy. That's just my personal opinion.
I'm with you on that one. I'm with you on that one.
That'll make it easy.
Yeah. So be brave. Come along at least to the Pathway to Profit and then into the academy. We would love to help you. And again, be unapologetically you, because it is exhausting being anyone else.
Yeah.
All right.
Until next time, everybody, have a beautiful week.
Take care. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.